I'd like to call order the Parks Board meeting for Monday, July 25th. When this end down here gets through laughing.
Order. Order.
Don't make me come over there. I just called it to order. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Golden, will you lead us there, sir?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Don't know what I'd do without you. Mr. Bruce, we have any citizens' comments, sir?
No, sir. None for tonight.
Thank you very much. I will accept a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting. Mr. Head first, Mr. Pike second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Outstanding. I got through that a little bit. Old business, Parks project update. Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have several new projects that we'll be working on thanks to the new budget year. So we'll kind of report those as they get started. For those of you that noticed, you may have seen we've been without power at Memorial Park on the fountain and the first responder monument due to a lightning strike. So we're kind of working through those issues. If somebody says, hey, the lights aren't on the fountain or the lights aren't on the first responder memorial, that is why. So we're dealing with that. I do want to give credit to today was the first day the soccer fields were back open to the public, and we had Tennessee United's camp today. So those look great, and I appreciate the work of our maintenance staff the last few weeks. The hours of watering by hand that some of those guys did and care that they put towards those were above and beyond. So appreciate those guys. That's all for now.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Under new business, grade A fishing tournament, Mr. Klaus. Ken? Come up to the podium and state your name and tell us what you want to do, as long as it's legal.
All right. So my name's Ken Glaus. I appreciate you considering our fishing tournament. With me is Tom Powell. Tom is our utility superintendent. And just thought I made a couple of notes here. You guys stop me if you want to. But tell you a little bit about Grade A. We're a licensed general contractor. We're in our 10th year of operation. We've got about 300 employees, and we do work. We're officed in Mount Juliet, but we do a lot of work here. Sumner County. One of our biggest project is the 3 schools over at Liberty: the elementary, the middle, and the high school. So we do. We're kind of unique. We do our own surveying. We do all of our own grading work, utility, concrete, asphalt, erosion control, and trucking. And we kind of got this idea really for the fishing tournament. We went to a Men of Valor event earlier this year. So Men of Valor is it's a prison / aftercare ministry. And we employ several guys that are in the Men of Valor. They call it Men of Valor Academy. And so anyways, when we, literally right after that, one of our owners suggested that we try to put on a fishing tournament. And the money is going to go to Men of Valor. So we've reserved shelter number 8 over at Saunders Ferry Park. Tom will serve as our tournament director. We've secured sponsorships for really just about all of the prizes so far. We want to offer a cash prize of first place $3,000, second $2,000, and then $1,000 for third place, and then a registration fee of $100 per vote. Hopefully, every bit of that can go to Men of Valor. We feel like we'll have at least 100 boats, and we got a bonus. One of our owners is affiliated with Tennessee Bass Nation High School. So the guy that is the regional coordinator for that is a man named Jake Davis. We've done some volunteer projects with him. He's offered to help coordinate the weigh-in and publish this as an official state Bass Nation sponsored or sanctioned event. So looking forward to that. That is really about it. We're gonna launch, fish, come back, do the weigh-in, give prizes. Feel like a couple of guys from Men of Valor will like to give their testimony, have lunch, and then wrap it up.
First off, I'd like to say I wished everybody filled out applications like you guys did. I know everything about you. No, I don't, but I mean, I'm just saying. Questions, this young man?
Yeah, so I noticed on the application you turned in about one of the acknowledgements talked about the donation. It's pretty typical when utilizing parks to partner with a local organization for a donation. Is Men of Valor a local to Hendersonville or Sumner County?
No, they're located in Antioch, Tennessee.
I see.
So,
So anyway, you just indicated no was on that part. I just wanted to make sure that I'm reading that right, or that you had indicated that correctly as far as.
Can you let me take a
Sure.
look at that?
No problem. It's on the acknowledgements right on the signature page, the first one. You'd indicated no. Just would like clarification, that's all.
Should it have been yes?
Well, yes, I mean, again, typically, again, for using public parks, usually we like to, the board typically ensure that some of that money that is being collected is being used locally to benefit the parks themselves or an organization that is partnered with the parks. That's typically what this board tends to ask in approving park spaces.
Tom, do you still have that? Okay, so I think we're talking about on page 8.
The first question.
I understand the event. I think that's what did you and I talk about that?
So I don't know. He did come in and talk to us about this because he paid the money to reserve, obviously, shelter aid already. So and he already paid that. So I guess what we have to decide is if it's gonna these not one-off events, but when these events come in, if they're not renting the whole park, like right now on Tuesday nights, there's a group that just shows up and uses the park and they have a tournament, but they don't pay us anything. But they don't, they just show up and do it. I would say in this case, if they're paying for the rental, I would say that's the donation. If it's when these larger tournaments where they're taking up the whole park or they're taking up 4 or 5 shelters, yeah, I think that's when you kind of get into that. But my suggestion would be is that they already paid for the shelters, which, you paid for, I think the actual receipts on the next page. Yeah, they paid $240. So.
But it sounds like a donation
Yeah,
would be appropriate to the parks.
True. We just don't have you can, that's what they're asking is that you can say, we'll give a $500 donation to the playground fund or the park fund.
I see.
Yeah. So, their request is that,
Yeah, we don't have any problem doing that. We just,
yeah, it's not, like I said, I haven't really, with fishing tournaments, we haven't got, if we've gotten those donations, I personally don't know about us actually receiving them. Because we invoice them for use of the park, but I don't know about them making an additional donation.
Right, and the spirit here is not a specific amount of any kind. The spirit here is that you're using a public park, raising funds for an absolutely wonderful cause, but it is a park funded by local citizens, and so whatever you work out with the Parks Department, that's generally what is done by this board in the past.
and that's more than reasonable. Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
The only question I had, I think you'd said $100 a boat. Is that correct?
Correct.
So really, that would be the registration at the top of page 8. That would probably be the registration amount. Would be $100 a boat.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's $100 a boat.
Yeah, I've got that. I've made that note on here, and they'll make sure that's part of the minutes also.
$50 per,
Trying to give
Angler
half of
in
it
the
back
boat.
to
yeah.
half of it back to Men of Valor and half towards prizes and whatever else we. And then, what type of vendors you think you'll have? I mean,
I don't think we're going to have any.
Okay, I got you. Hopefully not. I mean, well, if you do, you do. But hopefully, like you can get lunch donated and other things like that.
If we do, we will definitely get all the right permits and all that in advance. Right now, we don't really anticipate having any vendors.
Yeah, I would say if the right people at Men of Valor find out that you're doing this for them, they would probably help you get connected with some of their supporters too.
Another question?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Golden to approve it, second by Mr. Perry. If I had a third, I'd do Mr. Head, but can't do that. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? You've been it. Does anybody ever bring their own fish, like cheating and stuff?
Hey, I think it does happen. I'm not a fisherman.
I'm just saying.
but Tom is. Thank you. I'll come.
Well, yeah.
No way.
I'd drag 100-pounder behind the boat or something.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. That would have been
Bubba
Mr.
Perry.
Pike.
Bubba Perry was second.
Mr. Perry, I'm sorry.
Mr. Golden was first.
I'll try to be a little cleaner. All right, thank you, sir. Okay, Sumner Fest site plan, Eric Morton?
Aaron.
Aaron, I was close enough.
She does not look like an Eric.
Well, no. I've gotten in trouble for this one time. I'm not gonna say another one.
Thank you for having me tonight. I'm Erin Morton. I'm here on behalf of the Hendersonville Chamber of Commerce. And I would just like to talk to you about our site plan for the event. This year, we would love to be able to sell beer and wine at this event and bring in local vendors. So this is our map. Do y'all have any questions about it, or would you like me to explain it and go into detail?
See what questions we've got. Any questions of the young lady? Give you a minute to look at the site.
And just so you know, the yellow is fencing that they're actually going to be bringing in and putting in. And anything south of the yellow and west of the yellow, I guess on the right side, that there won't be parking in there. So that's where the people will be walking around, vendors.
Yeah. We're, essentially, we are fencing in the entire event. And we are bringing a parking company. We will have 2 checkpoints where people can enter and exit, and we will have police officers at each entrance and exit.
Aaron, is there actually a beer garden area, or is the whole area
The
going
whole
to be
thing will
open
be the
for-
beer garden.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And just so you guys know too, we already discussed with the hot air balloon company they're not to interfere, disrupt the landing strip for the airplane field.
Okay.
Looks like fun. I hope you all come. It will be
Do I
fun.
hear a motion to approve the site?
I will.
Ms. Rathert, second, Mr. Head. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you, everybody.
This is like everybody down there is happy with me and just waving. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, yeah.
Thanks, Aaron.
You don't know about it. I got in trouble like that one time. You don't want to know that. Financial report update, civic groups, quarterly reports. Take a look at that. See if you have any questions. I'm sure that the staff has spent some time on this. The reports that I've seen, I scanned over and looked thing, we got a lot of money in this park. The clubs have amassed somewhere along the way a lot of money, and we probably need to pay a great lot of attention to these reports. I think I've been trying to pay a little more attention, and I didn't find anything wrong, but I'm dumb, so that's all right. Any more questions on that? All right. Tennessee United Soccer Club Annual Report. That's kind of what I was looking at as far as a lot of money.
I know.
Between two clubs, we got $500,000 in there. So. A lot of money. I started a baseball league one time and that came up with $55,000 and it scared me to death. Okay, no more questions, all right. For your information, special events list, any questions? And there's the daunting discipline reports again.
Just one, a warning.
I know. I wonder why it was just a warning. All right, staff reports. Recreation Coordinator, Ms. Hamlin.
Good afternoon. My Kids Club Special Needs Program ended this past Friday. This summer ran pretty smoothly. We met at Merrill Hyde Magnet School, and I give a big shout out to Darren Frank at Merrill Hyde for letting us use his school. We did crafts, had movie days in their auditorium, went swimming once a week, made ice cream sundaes, just to name a few things that the campers enjoyed. We hope that the campers had a fun-filled experience and are excited to have them come back again next year. My Kids Club workers were great this year. We were a bit shorthanded in this area, but they showed up, worked hard, and made it be another successful summer camp. Everything's been packed up and moved back to storage, and I hope that the workers will want to return next summer as well. Preschool track meet is scheduled for October 16th. Registration begins August 17th through September 30th. Must be pre-registered in order to get a shirt. This is for 3, 4, and 5-year-olds with the age determined as of October 30th of 2022. They can get more info on our website. It is a one-day event where all the participants do a 25-yard dash, mini hurdles, and tennis ball throw. And ribbons are given at the end of each heat. And I've already made contact with Mars Orthodontics about the shirts because they're going to do the shirts for us. And then next we'll follow Trick or Treat at Drakes Creek on Thursday, October 28th. I think that's a Thursday.
Questions?
Any questions?
You done good.
Thank you.
Mr. Fugate. I'm not going to call you Mr. Fugate.
Summer adult basketball ended with the Rim Shots being our champions. Summer 5U and 6U T-ball and quick ball ended over last week and this past weekend. Fall kickball registration ended with coaches meeting probably being on Friday, and winter and adult high school and basketball information will be coming out soon.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Special events supervisor, Mr. Evans.
Yeah, we haven't really had anything happen the last month since we've seen you guys. I'm just kidding. No, really, all the softball tournaments outside of, the weather for the big USSSA one was kind of rough. But I would still hope that was a good event for our city. The maintenance staff, you got to give them credit. I don't know most people if you watch this, but that was a crazy, 17 days. And they're still working really hard, but just saying those 17 days were crazy with all the tournaments. So just make sure if you see them around, thank them. We do a Summerfest, like we're saying, next weekend that's coming up. Big Bubba Bash on August 17th on Drakes Creek, Field 3, with the first pitch at 7 o'clock. So come on out. It'll be a good time. And then we have something that you'll see on here a lot. We've actually already gotten in the works too. We have a lot more cross-country things going on. So we are working on that to meet with the local cross-country groups to have a better plan for that. So also, you might not have noticed, but Pig Fest is coming back October 21st, 22nd. There will be more of a rollout and information in the next in the next 10 days. as we start taking registrations. We do have a new logo. His name is Kevin. He's a pig, like Kevin Bacon. Thank you. I know, right? So if you see that logo around, make sure you share it, use it. That's what we want to use on all of our stuff for that. So besides that, thanks everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Question? Parks Maintenance, Mr. Granat.
Good evening, everyone. A couple things I wanted to talk about. We've done some top dressing and choreographing at rugby this week. And I wanted to mention something. We had hosted a flag football tournament at rugby. I don't know, I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago. And I happened to be out there that week right after it. And then I was back out there today, and I was looking over those fields, and I wanted to make the comment that a whole day's worth of flag football games were played on a rugby field, and you could not tell that they had even been out there. And I just feel like that's worth mentioning of all these conversations going on about usage of fields and everything. I just wanted to say that they played a whole day worth of games out there, and I'm telling you, if you'd have gone out there the next day, you wouldn't have known that they had been out there. So I just thought that was something that needed to be noted, and I'm trying to watch that a little more from my standpoint to see if that's really a reality, that doing some other sports on different fields doesn't really cause any more damage than anything else. And so far, my opinion is not really. So I just wanted to mention that. We are in the process of trying to do our second round of some aerification at soccer too. We'll see what we can do. We're starting to run out a little bit of time there. They're going to be getting started, but we'll do what we can. I think as of tomorrow, if I had to say today, we are probably at 97% of irrigation in Drakes Creek operational. And I can tell you, I think after tomorrow, we've got to make a run for a few more parts. I'd hope to be able to say tonight that we were 100% for the first time this year. Unfortunately, we were short on a couple of parts, and as you guys know, things are hard to come by right now. I think we'll get that stuff tomorrow, and I would like to be able to say that tomorrow at this time, the irrigation might just be 100% for the first time. That's a big deal. It's really old, and we have a lot of problems with it. So if we're ever at 100%, that's something worth noting for sure. So kudos to the guys down at the shop that make that happen. That it's not me, it's them. The sod that was laid at soccer is doing great. Super impressed with just the way it looks back there. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But for what it is and for the amount of play on it, I think it looks really good. And I would challenge all of y'all, go down there and take a look at it in the next week or so before they get busy. Don't wait until comments get made about it. Go look at it now before they start playing on it. It looks really good back there. I think that's all I got if anybody's got any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Granat. Assistant Director, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Jeremy and Andy mentioned, soccer fields open back up today. After a 6-week shutdown, we have the Tennessee United team camp out there all week. They'll be out there in the mornings and in the evenings. And then starting next week, Tennessee United will begin their fall practice. Rec soccer is about 2 weeks away from starting practice. They just finished up registration yesterday, so they're still going through all that and trying to figure out their team count. Let's see, tackle football, they started up, I think it was last week. They have 12 teams, which is the largest tackle league we've had in a long, long time. And then flag football registration's ongoing, and they'll start playing in September. And then rugby and lacrosse are currently not playing. They'll start up late August, beginning of September. So that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Assistant Director, Mr. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. The Fast Pitch is doing sign-ups currently until about the first week of August, evaluations after that, and then start practicing the second week of August. Senior men are ongoing, going to reschedules. We've got everything rescheduled for them, so they've still got another month left in their spring season. Civitan is going to run the Fall Open League in baseball. This is sort of the first time they've done that in a while. So we're looking at budgeting about 24 teams in the fall, 9 through 12-year-olds, and working with Scott Wiggins on that. They're going to start games usually mid-August and see if we can't run a fall league for them also. The hockey league, the adults have started. They're playing Sundays from like 4 to 10. I think this is week 3 they've played, so that started out real well. And the kids are doing sign-ups for the hockey league. Sort of in the future, the basketball, we have met with Civitan today for concerning basketball with the upcoming sign-ups probably end of August and that part of it. Always looking for gym space for them. And then the Rhythm, the baseball team, they won their first round series, and they start the second round tonight, weather permitting. It's a 2 out of 3, so they'll play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then if they win that, they will go on to the championship series, which would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they've got a week left, so we're hoping good things for them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. Questions? Parks Director, Mr. Gilly?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Athletic Committee met this afternoon to address some issues that was brought up at the last meeting regarding sportsmanship. Ms. Rathert was voted as the chairperson of that committee, so congratulations, or I'm sorry.
Don't miss a meeting.
The Athletic Committee recommends that and this is something you all would probably need to vote on. Their recommendations were that in addition to the quarterly financial reports, that the leagues provide us a list of the number of games played and any ejections or red cards that were given out in those sports and any other disciplinary actions that the club has taken during those periods. They give us this information as it happens, and it goes in your packet. But I believe the committee thought it would be valuable information for y'all to see ongoing, like, okay, we've played 160 games and we've had 2 issues. We see them once a month and we do take it seriously and we realize it's a big deal, but we kind of want to give it an overall picture, not only short term but long term. Are things getting worse? Are they getting better? Is it one sport? Is it one area we need to focus on? All those things we think could be helped if we had not concise is not the word I'm looking for, consolidated report all at once. And that includes our leagues as well. So we'll start putting those in a group quarterly also. But I think you all would probably need to take action on that to ask that be part of their report that they provide us.
So I'll take a stab at the motion. I move that the leagues that have use agreements, as well as leagues that are run by our Parks Department, provide quarterly data regarding ejections, disciplinary infractions, as well as a sense of total number of games played quarterly to the board through the Parks Department.
Everybody. We got a motion by Mr. Golden, second by Ms. Rathert. Any more questions on it? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Done. All right, Mr. Gilly.
Let me get that written down, make sure I got it right.
I've given you time.
Thank you.
No pressure.
I'm going as fast as I can. And it was gold.
Ms. Rathert.
And the second thing that the committee recommended today that really probably does not require a vote was that that we asked at the September meeting for the different groups of officials that our leagues deal with to have representation here to kind of just give us an overall report of the state of where officials are. Are we losing officials? Are we, tell us what they do to train them. Tell us the issues they are seeing locally. Are we getting new ones? Are we losing old ones? Or we'll just kind of give the board a snapshot of where we are in officials. And keep in mind, we deal with the Hendersonville Officials Association, but hockey has their own officials, soccer has their own that are not those officials. Different sports have different groups, so we will try to do that, and also at that meeting have representation from all the groups here as well, and try to make it a team effort to kind of find out what are the groups' plans to help with sportsmanship, or how are they implementing the Honor of the Game program. I think it would be helpful for everybody to, as a team being Parks Board, staff, groups, officials, all help take a look at this issue that seems to keep rearing its head, and we say it's a national problem, and we want to, there's a lot of things that are national problems that aren't problems here, so maybe we can make this one of them. That's the goal, I think, of everybody. And if anybody has any questions, that would be the end of my report for the night.
My dad, I think I said this once before, my dad said, 99% of the people are just fine, good parents, good supporters. It's that 1% of knuckleheads that make things bad for everybody, and quite frankly, make it look bad for everybody. And I know I was kind of vocal the last meeting, and I wanted to choke somebody, but there's a lot of good folks out there that do what they're supposed to be doing. So I'd like to hear from the umpires and referees, see what they say about it. So that's good. Thank you, Mr. Gillen. Questions?
That would be at the September meeting. We're going to try to do that.
Yes, sir. Any questions? Round table, Ms. Rather.
I don't have anything this evening.
No, thank you for the athletic report thing. Mr. Bennett?
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Golden? Mr. Perry? Mr. Pike? Mr. Head? Good gracious, I don't know. I forgot my joke, so I'm not going to tell you that. All right, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Mr. Pike said it, Mr. Bennett second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, out of here.